Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you don't know me already, my name's Christie. I'm currently 25 weeks pregnant with my second child. I already have a daughter who is now about 18 months old, and we're expecting another little girl at the end of December this year. This is going to be my 24 and 25 week pregnancy update. If you want to follow along my pregnancy journey, then please do subscribe to my channel, as I put out a mostly weekly, sometimes fortnightly update on my pregnancy so far and also other mummy content. And let's get into my update. So baby this week is the size of a papaya, and she is developing her primitive memory, which means that she's going to be able to start to remember the sounds of our voices and other sounds around the house, probably mostly my daughter Grace banging and crashing about. And then she is also now developing the ability to cover her ears, which again she's probably doing quite a bit considering what my little toddler is like. It's getting so quick now with like how fast the pregnancy is going. I can't believe that like I'm going to finish work in like 12 weeks now. And then it's only a couple of weeks after that I'm going to go in for my C-section. I haven't got the date yet. But we've also got Christmas in between when I finish work and when my C-section will happen. So I feel like it's just going to go by in a flash, and then before I know it, I'll be off on maternity leave and she'll be here with us. I had my 24-week midwife appointment. It's been quite a long gap since my last midwife appointment, which was at 16 weeks. And then obviously I had my 20-week anomaly scan in between. So I hadn't seen my midwife herself for like 8 weeks. And I had a little bit of like a breakdown in my appointment. She asked me about how my consultant appointment had gone, and I just get a bit teary when I talk about the delivery of Grace and how that affected me and how that's kind of shaped my choices for my birth this time. And as I was talking about that, I was just saying, you know, I have been feeling a little bit low in general as a result, and it's just been quite a difficult few weeks for me, I guess, few months, with the up and down of the hormones and how that's affecting my mood. And she was super supportive, and she actually wanted me to speak to my GP about it, and also gave me some like self-referral like help services for mental health. And I spoke to the GP, and the GP referred me to MIMS, which is like Mother and Infant Mental Health Services, I think. And they're specifically like trained to deal with like birth trauma. So she referred me for some counselling with them, and I'm just waiting for that to start. But in general, I feel a lot brighter since having had that conversation, and a lot more like there's a like defined path for me to get well before the baby's here. Not that I'm like unwell, but obviously with the way that I'm feeling, I am like cognizant of that, the fact that I could potentially be more susceptible to like postnatal depression if I don't really address my low mood now. So I feel good that we've started that journey now, and I feel a lot brighter for having got it off my chest with my midwife as well. I won't see her again now until 28 weeks, I believe, so a few weeks away. I also got my second consultant appointment through, which will be around 32 weeks, so at like the end of November. Maybe it is later than 32 weeks actually, but that will be when we book the date in for my C-section. So that will be a face-to-face appointment, and I'll be able to take my husband Steve with me, and then we'll know where we stand and start to get childcare arranged and stuff. This week on my Instagram, I put out a question box for essentials to take in your hospital bag specifically for a C-section. So I'm comfortable with what I need to take for the baby and what I need to take for myself just generally, but I asked if there was anything specific that I should take for a C-section, and I got loads of responses. I put them all on my stories, and I'll pop them on my highlights as well if you want to go over and have a look at those. But mostly it was like big pants, peppermint tea, like very loose fitting and comfortable clothing, and then a few other like random suggestions like wearing sliders home from the hospital because I'll have to wear compression stockings, and getting some stockings of my own to keep at home because they expect you to wear them for a little while and they only give you the one pair. So all of those things were super helpful, and it means that I've got a bit of a list now for getting the last of the bits of my hospital bag. Last time I left it all basically until my last few weeks, and then I went and did what was going to be one big trip to Primark to get all my nighties and everything like that, and all my my big pants, but they didn't have everything in stock that I needed at the time. So unfortunately, I didn't manage to get all of the nighties that I wanted. All of mine were quite thin ones, and I normally get quite cold, so I wanted some more button-up ones. So what I've been doing this time is just buying them as I go, as and when I see them in the shop. So I need to get a few more of those things, and also look out for some nice loose fitting loungewear, either where the bottoms are really high-waisted so they won't rub on the scar, or just a loose floaty dress that's going to keep me warm but also mean that it's not going to press on that scar either. I am obviously going to be coming out of hospital early January, I expect, late December, early January, so I don't really want to wear a dress that much because like I say, I do get cold, but also obviously it's only one journey, isn't it? If I have to wear my dress and gown in the car park, then I'm going to do it if it's going to make me comfortable. So a few more bits to get for my hospital bag, but I'm feeling a lot more prepared for having asked so many of you guys who know exactly what you need specifically for a C-section, and now I feel like I'm going to have a really well prepared hospital bag and have everything that I need with me. The only other things that I've really noticed in the last couple of weeks is how low the baby's sitting compared to previous pregnancy. I didn't feel like she was that low until a lot later on in my pregnancy, so I'm getting a lot of pressure in the crotch region. I haven't had lightning crotch yet, but it just feels really heavy, almost like it did a few days before I gave birth, that low. And also I've noticed in the last week or so that my fatigue from that first trimester has come back, and I'm just finding myself getting so tired, so out of breath, so just low energy. I'm just listening to my body and trying to rest and relax as much as I can, and luckily I am able to do that because Steve is so hands-on with Grace. And it just means that I can catch up on sleep and feel a little bit human the next day. It does also mean that I've been indulging in some caffeine here and there, which I never drink caffeine, but I've been going back to the office, which might actually be playing a factor in it because it's the first time that I'm going out of the house every day again. Not every day, but a few days in the week, whereas I've been at home so much. So that's probably playing a part in making me feel quite tired, but I've also needed a coffee to get through those days. So just the one coffee, which I think is actually fine. There's a milligram limit that you can have, isn't there? But I think I'm way below that because then I don't drink any other caffeine other than that one light drink on a day that I'm in work. And that's been helping. But yes, I'm hoping that as we lead up to Christmas, I get a little bit more energy and I'm feeling a little bit more ready to tackle this season coming up. I actually love Christmas. It's my favourite time of year, but it is tiring, isn't it? And usually I would have done loads of thinking about Christmas, written Grace a list, got a list for Steve, etc, etc. And this year I've been a little bit slower on it because I think I've got a lot of other stuff going on in my mind, and that'll be what I'm focusing on in the next few weeks, is trying to get all of that stuff ready. So let me just show you what my bump looks like. It does, to me, look so much bigger and so much rounder and so much more like a baby now. And I get people go to me, oh, when they see it. Do you know when you get to that stage in pregnancy when people don't make eye contact, they make bump contact? That's where I am now. So let me show you what it looks like. As bump is growing, so too is the amount of movement that I'm feeling, and I'm feeling it quite low from time to time. I feel like she's turning breech and then turning back, and I guess that can happen for a while now, up until the birth, which I guess isn't as relevant for me with the planned C-section, but they'll probably want to know which way up she is anyway through my appointments and stuff. But I don't know whether I'm imagining it, but she seems to be breech quite a bit, because the kicks that I feel are literally like on the exit route constantly, and it's really unnerving because you just kind of feel it all the time. You're like, oh God. Kind of have to cross your legs and hope for the best, but she's definitely wriggling a lot now, and I'm starting to notice a pattern forming, so that'll be really helpful as I get towards the end of my pregnancy and have to like monitor for reduced movement and stuff, because I'll be able to know when she normally moves and how much she moves. So that's everything this week for my 24 and 25 week pregnancy update. Like I say, if you want to follow along my pregnancy journey, then please do subscribe and like and comment below to let me know that you like this video, and I will be back next week, maybe for 26 weeks. If not, I'll do another like fortnightly update and keep you in the loop that way. If you want to follow along more of a like daily journey of how I'm getting on pregnancy and motherhood wise, then I am very active on my Instagram, and I'll also link that in the description. So take care, and I'll see you next time.